He's one of our best sporting exports in 2015 when he was a manager for the Socceroos. They won the Asian Cup. And then when he was heading up the Japanese team, Yokohama, in 2019, they won their championship.
Yeah, and then Ange Postecoglou led Celtic to his first of many league championships last season. And as they continue to dominate this season, he's getting ready to bring the club down under. Ange Postecoglou, it's a huge welcome to Studio 10. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
I am buzzing. Is there really another team in Scotland? I don't think so. I must ask you off the top real quick that last night the Socceroos, they played New Zealand.
Yeah.
Got the win in a friendly game. The World Cup's fast approaching. I know there was a time when Ireland were just happy to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit the same with Australia now. What should we start to be expecting from the Socceroos?
Yeah, look, I think we're hopefully past that stage. I mean, I was obviously boss in 2014. We qualified for Brazil, and we want to be making impacts. We did in 2006, and we've kind of had a few missed opportunities. And I know, the boys last night, it's a funny one, these two games, because they're all fighting for spots to get there, you know, so there's a bit of probably nervousness around them. So you could sense that in the performance last night. No one wants to put in a bad game so close to a World Cup. It's such a massive event. For anyone representing their country in football, to go to a World Cup is brilliant, but as Australians, yeah, hopefully we go there this time and make an impact.
Yeah, most definitely.
Talk to us about Celtic FC. They are, without question, one of the biggest and certainly most successful clubs in football history. What do you think makes the club special despite being winners?
Yeah, I think it goes beyond that. It's just, you know, I've kind of tried to explain. Obviously, you know, I've loved football my whole life and I've lived on this side of the world, but they're one of those clubs that everyone knows about, and you know the history of the football club, and it's very much... part of the city of Glasgow is very closely entwined with this football club, because it was born out of feeding poor immigrants, the Irish immigrants. It really started off as a charitable cause, and the stories of Celtic are passed down like family heirlooms. So the people who go to games now are 4, 5, 6 generation of supporters. So you feel that when you walk in the stadium. It's not just a sporting event for them; it's something more. That gives me the added responsibility that I've got to keep them happy as much as I possibly can.
They're planning events like christenings and weddings around matches, which is pretty incredible. That level of fandom, it's almost an affliction.
Yeah, I've said they're not supporters. They're not your traditional sporting supporters. It's an extension of their own family. It's an extension of who they are. So, and as I said, you feel that responsibility, because if we have a win, their week's fine. And, a lot of them do it tough, in their daily lives, particularly at the moment. The football club is the one thing that sort of can put a shining light on whatever they do. So if we don't win, and we lost for the first time in a year, that's why I left the country and came halfway around the world for the first time in a year, you kind of feel it, because you know that, OK, it's not just a loss, it's actually affecting people's lives. But like I said, when people are that invested in something, it makes it truly magical when you go to the ground and they're there to support you.
Yeah, it's a bad morning here when Leeds doesn't get up, isn't it? Hey, mate?
But the same as Celtic. But like I said, the input that you're having there, I mean, I'm not just blowing smoke up because you're sitting here, but the impact that you've had on Celtic, I remember reading before that you said you want your teams to try and play the football that your dad would be proud of. And I don't think there's a Celtic supporter out there who wouldn't be happy with the football that you're playing at the moment. But obviously, for both players and managers, success, it kind of breeds speculation all the time. You were linked recently to the Premier League, and I've no doubt that at some stage you're going to manage in the EPL. But what are your ambitions now for Celtic? I mean, like you said, you just got the first loss almost a year to the day. What's the ambitions now, and what do you do with that kind of speculation?
In terms of speculation, yeah, you're right, success brings you speculation, failure brings you speculation. So as a manager, you kind of don't take it too seriously. Look, I've said all along, and I've said while I've been here, I'm working for an unbelievably fantastic football club, massive football club. It ticks all the boxes for what I want to do in my career, and we're in the Champions League this year, and we haven't been in that for 4 or 5 years. So I just want to bring success, as much success as I can to this football club. Like I said, playing a certain way, because it's not just that I love to play that way, but the football club has that tradition as well. It's great as teams always played stuff that gets people off their seats, and that's what the punters want to see. So, like I said, for me, it's just about trying to bring as much success as I can to the club. Yeah,
you're doing that and putting a great spotlight on the A-League here as well. You've got the Sydney Super Cup coming up, and we saw the impact that, say, Barcelona had coming here, 70,000 fans. Victory, one of your old teams, took 80,000 fans to see Manchester United. The Sydney Super Cup is happening now in November. We've got Western Sydney Wanderers, Sydney FC, Everton. I know you're a Liverpool fan, and you're on Celtic coming up as well. What can we expect to see from this?
Yeah, it should be good. As you said, when overseas clubs come here, it's always great because people get to see all their heroes sort of first up. But the difference for us is we're not coming in the pre-season. We're literally going to be playing on the weekend. Everton will probably play in the Premier League on the weekend. We're getting on a plane and getting here, so the boys will be in good nick. It'll be a real game. Against Sydney and against Everton. As you said, I wouldn't mind knocking off Everton. That would be nice. And the other thing I've discovered is that the support of the football club is global and even down under. It's ever increasing, obviously, because of my participation. But we've got some passionate fans down here. So, and if you've been to Celtic Park, I guarantee you the atmosphere will be something special. So it'll be good games in a great atmosphere.
Oh, that's great. What do you make of the A-League now? I mean, it's a lot different to when you managed here. I mean, you're with Raw, you're with Victory. It's looking great. I'm buzzing for the season.
Yeah, it should be a big year. I think over the last couple of years it's grown again. Some great young players coming through, which is super exciting. Aussies, a couple of them in the Socceroos last night. And the imports, Nani's coming in, so that's brilliant for the competition. I really enjoyed my time in the A-League. I thought it was a fantastic sort of breeding ground for where I am today, and I'm sure it will be for others.
Is it nice being home? Did you grow up in Melbourne?
Yeah, well, I'm almost
Are you sick of
home.
haggis?
No, I've never started with the haggis. We're really enjoying Glasgow. It's a very similar feel to Melbourne, to be fair, where we live. We lived in Japan for 4 years, obviously, with a family. I've got 2 young boys, and moving to Glasgow has been really easy. It's a great city, but I haven't been home because of COVID and because of my work for 4 years. So I almost got there this time in Sydney, but when we come down in November, I'll head down to Melbourne. But, great to be back home, catch up with people.
They might not let you leave, Ange. Who knows, once you visit Melbourne?
No, I'm getting out of here.
We can get Celtic at the Sydney Super Cup this November. Head to sydneysupercup.com.au for tickets. And you can also stream the games through Paramount Plus. And Postecoglou, so nice to see you. Thanks for coming
guys.
in.
Great to
Thank
be
you.
here.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much.